Hello everyone, and thank you so much for inviting me to speak to you during this Mainframe week. I am a Mainframe hobbyist, and I prepared this video and some slides to talk a bit about how it is to have a mainframe as a hobby. I hope you enjoy it.
I am a hobbyist mainframer here in Switzerland in Zurich. Online I usually go by the nickname Blue CMD and you can find me a bit here and there. Let me introduce my background a bit. I was born and raised in Sweden, but I've lived in a couple of places over the last years. 15 years ago I started as a system administrator at a small internet service provider, and since then I've worked with conventional PC servers. I have a master's degree in computer engineering and electrical engineering, and my day job is to make software not crash. However, the reason why I tell you all this on a mainframe conference is that one of my hobbies is mainframes. Here you can see me in front of my Z114. You can see the support element and some of the cabling that goes into the chassis. I blog to make both my successes and failures public on my site blog.mainframe.dev. One of the most popular articles I have written is a buyer's guide on what you should think about when purchasing a mainframe from, for example, eBay. My Z114 comes from eBay, and I can definitely recommend you to haggle. For disk storage, I found a broken disk array in China, and I spent about a year learning how to repair it. This is also on the blog if you're interested in reading about that. But why would I go through all this trouble to own and operate a mainframe? What drives me? The answer to this is the legendary mainframe stability. Let's look on why I think mainframes are better suited to run software with high stability. When I run software on a normal PC server, it comes to a point where the server cannot fit the full load of the application, or it may be not economical to do so. This is what we call scale out versus scale up. Infrastructure built around microservices and similar patterns usually do scale out, and that makes both writing and running them complicated. Let's look on why that happens. The first problem you have is consistency. How do you deal with if a change happens but only one server ends up seeing that change? This is not a simple problem to solve usually. Then you have the case of what happens when your data is distributed over many normal servers. What happens when one of them fails? Now you might have lost all references to some new data, or maybe even 1/3 of your customer data. Another problem a lot of software engineers forget about is what if only some servers can communicate? This is called partition tolerance and might seem unlikely to happen, but in reality it happens all the time. When software forgets to take this into account, you can end up with old data being treated as new data. You would definitely not want to see any of these issues to happen to your flight reservation, or even worse, your bank account. Mainframes have been built to handle this for you. From the hardware all the way up to the software, these problems have been solved for decades. If you build software for the mainframe using the tools provided to you, you will have a stable software that can scale well. This is one of the many reasons why I spend my free time learning about mainframes and why I am happy to call myself a mainframe hobbyist. If this was interesting, you can always reach out to me on the contact details on screen now. Thank you so much for listening and have a great mainframe week.